well, we're live. LinkedIn doesn't allow you to go live. Why isn't LinkedIn? Sucks. That's what I have to say. But we're live on everything else. Edit.
Oh, more than 2 hours before start time? Yeah, it's not. If the clock is wrong. Oh, do you think because you're in a different time zone?
No, it shouldn't be. I'm just going to remove it and then add it. And now we're live. All right. The best beginning to a live ever. My Starlink is still kicking in, so that's fine. I'm just going to let you take it from here to start. All right. Well, see ya.
Get out of here.
What is going on, my fellow Summit Chasers? What's going on, Will? Good to see you. We had some fun. We've had a fun start to our morning so far. Unfortunately, Hazim will not be able to be here. He is feeling under the weather this morning, which I understand that seasons are changing. Adrena is actually not feeling very well right now either, but all good. We actually have somebody who's been on the podcast before. If some of you that have been following Summit Chaser since the beginning, really know a lot about her. She's one of our founding partners with Summit Chasers Network, and she's pretty good at stuff, including talking about the topic that we have today. Even if she doesn't think that she's good at it, she's going to be good at it, which we're going to talk a little bit about the history of dating apps. So Hazim, who's supposed to be on here, is the co-founder of a really, really cool app. And I know they've tried to do this type of stuff before, where they've used the dating app concept and framework and used it for other industries, other purposes, and things like that, like networking and for finding, workers, employees, and co-founders and that kind of stuff. But it seems like he's learned a lot from where they've fallen short and made a lot of improvements. And this is a really, really cool software app that he's developed. It's called Coffee Space. And I want to make sure I give him his props because he was going to come on. But it's really, really cool. Hold on, let me give him a beginning here. Boom. So it's a dating app style. So, and I like the way he explained. So one of the questions I asked him before we jumped on the podcast a few weeks ago is how are you going to, or how is this not going to become like another LinkedIn or another XYZ social media platform or dating app, really, where people can game the system. You start getting spammed, there's bots, there's all this kind of stuff. And his answer was it was obvious. Once he said it, it was fairly obvious. But because you are picking who you want to talk to and who you want to match with, that's what feeds the algorithm. So as long as you're being very specific on who you're looking for and what you're utilizing this app for, the algorithm is gonna have a very specific framework and algorithm to or data points to kind of show you who should be seeing your app, or sorry, your profile, and whose profile you should be seeing. And it's really interesting. I really liked it. So, anyways, hopefully we can get him on a little bit later on. But I found it really, really cool. And there's already working with a ton of individuals. Like you see, there's already 6,000 people plus on the app itself. But if you're going on and you want to, either you're starting a business or you have a business or you need to find another co-founder, maybe there's only two of you right now, you need to find a third one, you need to find a CTO, whatever it is, that is a great place to go and meet other co-founders, network, learn from each other, and get ideas, and just a really good kind of melting pot for getting good ideas. Ideas maybe you wouldn't have thought of or you wouldn't have seen in other places because it is so specific to finding that co-founder. So they're co-founders looking for co-founders. So really, really cool. But we'll get him on the podcast here soon. But really quickly before we go any further, let me see if my the other thing, this has been this kind of morning. Our other thing, our Wi-Fi. So we use Starlink, and Starlink this morning decided it didn't want to find a satellite. There's no satellites. So hopefully that means that they're putting all the satellites over in North Carolina, where a lot of people were affected by the hurricane, so they can utilize it. So hopefully our network won't be too bad for this, but if it is, it is what it is. But really quickly before we bring Chrissy Neefsey on this morning, I want to remind everybody of our 5-day strategy core challenge. I was up most of the night again, really working on this and really trying to get it succinct. And we're really excited for where this is going and what this is going to create. Now, this is something that we do and have done with our clients. Oh, appreciate it, Will. Beautiful. Because it always pops up where it has like, you only have 1 bar of Wi-Fi, and I freak out. I'm like, that's what I'm focusing on instead of talking to you guys. But I appreciate you saying that, Will. I won't worry about it anymore. But this is something that we do with our clients. We create what we call a strategy core. So it gives them kind of that North Star. How do you make decisions? Where are you pointing the ship? And focus. It brings focus and clarity to the decisions, to the focus that you have for your business and the path. Focus on the path that you should be kind of taking for your business. So recognizing the market types that you're in and what that means for the types of strategies and types of decisions you should be making. Should you be experimenting? Should you be making long-term plans? And it's going to help you, and it's going to help a lot of businesses get really, really clear on where they're going, what they want to be doing, what they want to accomplish. And I'm very excited. It's going to be unlike any other challenge. I've done a lot of challenges and these workshops and stuff before, and I get there and I start doing it, and I'm like, this isn't challenging, first of all, and this is also just a pitch for them to go into their flagship program or whatever it is like that. This is not going to be that. This is going to be a standalone challenge. There's not going to be a pitch at the end. There's going to be a strategy audit at the end, but that's about it. It's going to be 5 days, Tuesday to Saturday. That's October 22nd to the 26th. And the Tuesday to Friday, it'll be 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, about an hour, between an hour and 90 minutes. It's a fairly short, hard hitting. You're going to be getting challenged, not just by us, by your peers. You're going to be put in breakout rooms. You're going to be sharing your ideas. You're going to be challenging each other. And then the last day is going to be Saturday. It'll be 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on that Saturday. So I'll get Adriana. I think Adriana is on here. I'll get her to put the link for it in here, so you can go check it out and get signed up. I think for the cohort that's going to start, or for our first one that's going to be in October, I think there's only 3 spots left right now. So make sure you get in there. It's also going to be at a price that you're not going to see ever again, because this, again, is our first one. So we're really trying to get your feedback, create a win-win situation here so that you're going to get a ton of value, and then we can get the feedback on how we can improve and keep moving this thing forward. So we're very excited about that. So Adriana, if you're here, if you could jump that into the, she can hear me in the house, so I'm sure she's going to do it. But enough about that. I want to talk about dating apps, and I have the perfect person to do that. I'll tell you why she's the perfect person to do this, because she's been with the same person for like 30, I don't know how long. It's been a while. She's been with the same person. So she is definitely the person to talk to about dating apps. So I want to welcome to the stage Chrissy Neefsey. Always a pleasure.
Zach, you might be wondering, before we get started, how can you be speaking about dating apps with your hair looking like this? And the reason is because I have a cool new Summit Coffee Club hat.
What?
Yeah. Our Summit Coffee Club line is coming out. Adriana and I have designed it.
That is so cute.
Right? And on the back, it actually hold on before I put it on. It says, "Success made simple." Oh, wait, where's my camera?
That's amazing. How did was this a surprise that you were telling you
Yeah, well,
didn't
this is
wanna
one of
tell?
the surprise. Don't worry, we have more, but, like, you won't be able to see them until October when we're in our YPLS summit. So next time we're back together again.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, first of all, that was a roller coaster because I thought you were talking about my hair, and I was like, "Look, I get it,
No,
okay,
no, no, mine.
but then that's amazing. You guys are tricky.
So this color is actually called, like, cafe or something like that,
It looks
and,
like pizza.
the stitching is chocolate, so we wanted to go with the whole coffee vibe, you know?
Cafe mocha vibe. I like
Exactly,
it. That's
exactly.
amazing. Well, get everybody caught up on how you've been. What have you been up to?
Oh, a little of this, little of that, turning 40, you know? So my coffee these days, I drink collagen because, this is what happens. You have to, like, hold on to the fountain of youth wherever
Yeah,
it comes from.
make sure you get your omegas. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And we've been prepping for this, YPLS summit, which we're super excited about in a couple weeks, and booking our flights to Toronto, which you keep threatening is gonna be, like, super, super cold, so maybe we need some, Summit Coffee Club, like, knit
Some
hats
food.
instead. We'll see what I
Yeah.
can crochet together in time, you know what I mean?
Do you know how to crochet?
No, I definitely don't, no.
You can learn.
I bought a sewing machine, like, maybe it'll be 3 years this Black Friday because I thought I was gonna get into, like, stitching and tailoring, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still in the box in my attic, actually, upstairs, so, yeah. So I'm really not that handy, actually, but
You were, like, planning for turning 40 way ahead of time. I was like, "I'm gonna learn how to crochet, I'm gonna knit. So that's gonna be my pastime." Well,
Yeah.
luckily, I feel like we saved you from that.
Yeah, you
Like,
saved me,
you
yeah,
know?
from a life of being a recluse, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Your side gig with just mittens.
Exactly, exactly, mittens.
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah.
But I don't know how cold it's gonna be in Toronto it's hit or miss in Canada around that time. It either could be snowing and blizzarding or it'll be, like, spring. I don't know. Who
It's gonna be
knows?
spring.
But
So
it'll
if you're
be
in Toronto, if you wanna spend a spring Saturday in October with us, we'll be there October 19th.
Mhm. Yes, it'll be there. Go to yplsummit.com and get your tickets. Show up. It's gonna be a blast. The sewing machine got me during COVID too.
Did you
Those sewing machines will get you.
I
Those,
know,
like, random hobbies that you'll, like, watch, like, you'll see an ad or
yeah.
somebody on a TV show will be doing it. They make this beautiful thing, and you're like, "I think I'm gonna do that," as if you don't have a bunch of other stuff going on, and you just and then you spend $1,000 on something, and
Yeah,
you do it once, realize it's not for you, and there it
and
stays.
that's it. Yeah.
And so it's a very poor investment, but maybe it won't be. You still got lots of time.
And
40
last
is the new 20. You got lots of time to
winter
learn how to knit.
winter is coming. We'll be,
Exactly.
we're off the beach now, so I
You'll
got
be fine. Learn how to, like, restitch stuff. It'll save you money maybe in the long term. You don't have to throw out as much clothes. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Um,
we'll see.
but so how much do you know about the history of dating apps?
Okay, so when you told me that this was gonna be the topic, I actually started
You
really
did research. Yeah.
studying. Yeah, like, I've been with my husband for 22 years and almost 30 before the dawn of any apps, actually. I think we had, like, the snake on the phone. Do you know what I'm saying? It was like the game, like the snake game on the phone. It was just
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
like back in the day, we had nothing, no internet on our phones or anything like that. So I met him the old fashioned way at a house party where girls get in for free, of course. You know what I mean? So college budget, had to go check out where the sales were going on. And that was it. But I have a lot of friends who have used dating apps, and I think this concept of matchmaking is so fascinating. And um I heard you talk about LinkedIn, like we were trying to go live on LinkedIn, but I feel like I've heard some people say, like, LinkedIn is becoming a dating app on its own because people are like, what do you do? What's your background? Like, who are you? Who are you connected to? So
Mhm.
I feel like every platform is starting to become the ultimate connector, so anyway, I almost shut down my LinkedIn, like, this weekend. I was just like, "Do I even need this?" It's so chaotic on LinkedIn. I think you've probably heard me talk about this before, but LinkedIn is so overwhelming, and I'm like, do I just shut this all down and just start over? I don't know.
LinkedIn, I mean, you can see the premise of dating apps, of like matchmaking. I don't know if it started from dating apps, but you can see it being utilized now in a lot of things, like recruiting. Like we are working with um, Koyos.
Mhm.
They use like the big five, like personality um, tests and like the disc assessments and that kind of stuff. Like those have been around for a long time. I'm not going to say that they got those from dating apps. That would be ridiculous. But you are starting to see those concepts kind of be molded, like using that to match with this. So it's kind of becoming more and more. I mean, it's more and more sophisticated. But it'll be interesting to see where that goes because we're all looking for somebody. Like
Yeah,
we're all
I
looking
think
for something.
and I think the way that, like, the internet has just exposed us to so many people, people are just trying to use data to narrow the funnel. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
of these 9 million billion people on Facebook, who do I really need to know? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just
Nine. That's
it's
about accurate. How many people are on there?
yeah. Um, so I think people are really trying to, like, hack their time maybe and really narrow in and,
Yeah.
increase their success rates. But yeah, it's been interesting. I did meet someone who started a dating app called Inpress, INPRESS. And he is a veteran of the Air Force. He was a journalist with the Air Force. And he started this dating app. I think they're launching in October in out of DC. And the concept of this is people who can meet other people who have similar like news interests. And it's like one trying to get people who have like similar news interests or like they have topics to discuss and it's like a more meaningful like deeper connection,
Mhm.
but also he's hoping that society starts kind of raising the bar around expectations of what media is,
Mm.
producing and just like the quality. Like he also wants to like use this as a movement to improve the quality of news, which I love, being in digital media and so it's it's
News
crazy
isn't
what
really,
published. Yeah, so
yeah,
it's
news isn't
really nice.
really news anymore.
Yeah,
It's like this is what we want you to hear.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's not. It's interesting, and it's the other concept too is as we have more data, we get more specific on who we're looking for, the groups that we want to be a part of. Do you think that that would? It almost seems like it's reinforcing or giving us another way to just get into our own little thought bubbles and our own little tribes and not and almost give ourselves more of a reason not to challenge our own thinking, our own biases, and just because we're just around the people that we initially in this point in time want to be around. So that's the people that like impress. I only want to meet people who have interest in news. I mean, what that really means in the grand scheme of things is who do I align with politically? And now I'm creating all these little like subcategories of like people that align with these. I don't know. It's interesting. Just everybody's in their own bubble now.
Yeah, that's a good I think that could be like an overuse of that for sure. But also,
Mac
oh,
is sick. Well,
wow.
I'm on there as well. And it's actually really cool. Manek's a one of the that's a good you know what, Will, that's a good concept, like to kind of put that in with those because it kind of is because you go on there and you have certain experts in their field. I have a question like he's looking for somebody who has knowledge on AI. You can go in there and they have like categories of experts in AI or in
Mhm.
business or in mindfulness. There's even comedians and stuff on there, and then they all have kind of their price tiers, and you can go and ask them a question, and you can either do it over text, audio, or video. But it's Patrick Bet David's saying I was at the vault the year that he announced it. But he has some really cool people on there, like Candace Owens is on there. He's on there. A couple comedians are on there. Um, I don't know. There's a few, but like some names. Whether you agree with who they are, whatever, I don't care about that. But there's some big names, like intelligent people that are on there. So Manek, that's a you know what, Will, I'm gonna put that in that category. So that was a good talking point there, Will. Appreciate you jumping in. But I'm on Connect, and so if you have questions or anything that you want to ask me, and you want any advice on anything, I'm on Connect as well. You can find me on there. Oh, this is the app, Impress app that's on
Yeah.
there.
I was gonna say, I think that definitely is an overuse where you start like narrowing your population to only like-minded people, and you kind of lose that willingness to debate or like be exposed to new ideas. But also, I do feel like in this climate, there is such little psychological safety around people. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if you really want to like be able to kind of accelerate the ability to like make a deeper connection with someone, you probably need to enter with a little bit more in common so that you feel
Yeah,
like you can let your guard down a little bit more, like be a little bit more
icebreaker.
vulnerable. And I do feel like people are looking for everyone's just so on edge these days. I think that you probably need a little bit of like a safer space to be able to like navigate new relationships, especially for dating or networking. Um, yeah, it's just
Especially if you're new to it. If you're new to it, I agree with that. If you're not new to it, uh, it's like things are hard.
yeah,
You're gonna have to do uncomfortable things. It is.
yeah,
That's how you grow,
yeah,
right? Well, they seem to use it as a funnel. Yeah, everything's a funnel these days.
exactly.
Everything's a funnel, except for the 5-day strategy core challenge. It's not a funnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a funnel. You get to go in a community, but that's not a funnel. I use a funnel so you can sign up just for transparency's sake, but it's not like an upsell funnel. Um, that's awesome. Well, anyways, do you want to get into? Let's see how well we know and the people who are here joining us know dating apps. Because when I was going through some of these, I was up at midnight, like, what's the history on dating apps? Like, I felt
Oh
like
my
a
God,
crazy.
Audrina, this is the line he's using. When
Yeah,
I
don't go through my Adrena. Don't go through my search history.
business research.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Um, expenses. I'm just expensing all these like dating app
Yeah, yeah,
subscriptions.
yeah.
What are you doing? I
Oh
didn't
my
do
God.
that. But yeah, so anyways, it was. I felt creepy. Hey, there's the first lesson. But there's so many that I didn't even know existed, like at all, and they started a longer time ago than I thought. Like I know that they used to have like where you can send in the VHSs, like they always make fun of that, where you can like make a video of yourself and then send in the video tape. Back in the day, I remember that. I am that old to remember that, but I
Well,
didn't know. Anyways,
OkCupid, isn't that the one that had like the 50 questions or something? Or was that Match? But do you remember
I
OkCupid?
know that I'm not going to give anything away. Let's start
Oh
this.
my God.
Let's start this thing. You know what? And I made it into a multiple choice. All right. So okay, let's see. All right, everybody is here. Let's jump in. All right. All right. Which dating
Oh,
site launched in 2000 uses a comprehensive personality test to match based on compatibility? Actually, if I remember correctly, you might have got this one.
eHarmony.
You think eHarmony in
Yeah.
2000? What do y'all think? It's like because there's a lag, so I'm gonna let people catch up. But launched in 2000. Yeah, no, I remember the commercials for eHarmony. Like it
Yeah.
was on before social
It's like
media.
the psychiatrist, the guy that like psychologists. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, it says A, Match.com. I don't
Mhm.
remember, so I have no idea. Hey, they're saying A. Did you guys Google this? Did you Google this? So you're saying eHarmony, they're saying Match.com. I I don't remember. I'm trying to. I think I'm with you. So I think it's AABB for right now. It's eHarmony. You're right.
Match
You're
was built
right.
off of eHarmony.
You have all this insider information. This isn't because you were working with all these types of companies and stuff.
I don't
You were
work
with
with dating apps. I don't work with dating
you were
apps.
with Snap. You're like, no, nope. It's the OG. Yeah, eHarmony is Match.com. Is Match.com's the OG? Is that the OG? No, because you said they
eHarmony.
built
eHarmony.
eHarmony is the OG. Gotcha. We might find out that it wasn't the OG today because I know there was one started. Okay, what's the name of the dating website? Started in 1995. That is considered one of the oldest online dating platforms.
Oh, that might be Match.com actually.
Yeah, I think that was the other way around. I think Match was built off of what? No, so eHarmony was built off Match.com. Match.com also seems like you'd think by then the domain Match.com would be taken. Like it's too obvious. Like now they need to start getting tricky. So I'm gonna go with Match for this one. What are you gonna do? It's definitely not Tinder.
Well, I'll go with Match because I think they're actually a holding company and all these other dating apps are under them.
Well, see what I mean? You have all this insider information. Match.com. Y'all are right. Y'all are right. All right. Which dating website founded?
You know what, Zach? I actually think this is a good. This isn't so much about dating apps; it's about the history of the internet. So
I think so too. Honestly, yeah. When you said that, it's like this is a history of what happened after the .com bust. It's during, beforehand, and just after. For sure. I mean, founded 2004. All right. Which dating website founded in 2004 is known for its in-depth questionnaires and matching algorithms based on users' answers?
I think that's OkCupid.
OkCupid. Because you're right. OkCupid was the one that had like the 5,000 questions. Let's wait for them. See if they can. If anybody's going to jump in. But I think you're right. I think it's A. D. Plenty of Fish. Seriously?
I thought Plenty of Fish was
No, that was like the free
one. Local one, right? I had a lot of friends who were on Plenty of Fish around 2004, like probably 2008. 2008, I think, was like the era of Plenty of Fish, and that was crazy.
I remember my brother-in-law, my ex-brother-in-law, he always was on POF, Plenty of Fish. He was always on that. Yeah, always. Yeah, it definitely wasn't PO. He even says POF. Yeah, Will's used it, using the acronyms. Will's been on it. All right, I think it's OkCupid. It was Tinder before Tinder. Yeah, for sure. It was OkCupid. Yeah, because they were known for having like really long questionnaires. It was really about just getting your data. Like what a genius way to just get a bunch of data. Dating apps. Like, oh, you want to find love? You don't want to be alone forever? Then answer all these questions, and you won't be. Like,
oh my god! And then Okay, let's sidebar. What type of services do you think they pushed out to those types of personas? That ICP, Zach. Like, you want to talk about funnel? What are they sending? Like life insurance, or how to handle yourself when you're like alone and old, like fear mongering being single.
I mean, it's exactly. They probably did make a ton of money just selling information.
It's probably the rise of Botox. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
probably,
probably
100%. This is definitely the rise of Botox for sure. Yeah, and yes, well, ex-brother-in-law. Let's make sure we capitalize the X on that next time. Just kidding. It's fine. All right. What was the name of the first computer dating service launched by Harvard students in 65? This is what I mean. 65. Definitely we'll take away A and B.
Oh, I think Operation Match, because that was like during like Vietnam world, right? So I feel like this needs to be a little bit of like a
militaristic, like
Operation. Yeah.
Like Operation Desert Storm. This is Operation Match. Operation, we need more babies, so we need to match people up. I think you're right. Computer Cupid just seems. I mean, it depends. It depends, because that was also the rise. Pardon me?
I said I didn't even know if it was called a computer then.
Oh, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, no, that's 100%. What I was going to say is because that was kind of like the rise of like the hippie. So it depends. Like, was it a military operation where they needed to increase the population for future endeavors, or was this like we need love and peace, bro? If that was the case, then I would say Computer Cupid. But you're right. I don't think they called it.
It's Harvard students.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that part. Yes, definitely, it's Operation Match for sure. Yeah. For sure. I forgot about that part. Yeah, they couldn't afford.
If it was like designed at Woodstock, it would be
designed by that would have been totally giveaway.
Operation Free Love.
Yeah, totally. All right. Which dating app initially launched in 2012 connects users based on mutual friends and was revamped in 2015 to focus on relationships? Get a little bit more modern here.
Mm,
I know this one, and I'll tell you why I know this one.
right?
Which one?
Hinge.
I don't know. What does everybody else think? Bumble. No, Bumble was around way before that, right?
I think Bumble was after, but it's
After.
where the
Yeah.
girl starts the initiates, right?
The thing I know about Bumble is that the CEO of Bumble was originally at Tinder,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then he was like, guys are creepy, which
Mhm.
those kind of have to give you give that many lonely people access to just like swipe on you and talk to you.
I actually don't even, one of the questions on here should be, are you supposed to swipe right or left if you like the person on Tinder? And I have no idea. And I always like try to work that into my like day-to-day knowledge. I'm like, oh, you could just like swipe right on that or swipe
Yeah,
like
you can
it's the
use
wrong
it.
direction. And I was like, oh my God, okay.
Like you're in like a high level executive meeting at Yahoo, and you're like, swipe left on that idea. Like, is that
Yeah.
why you want to know? Okay. You want to just stay hip. And kids these days are like, we don't use dating apps.
Or someone just says something and I'm like just emotion. Like
That's funny. I think it is Hinge. It is Hinge. And I know that because that's where me and Adrena met, and I'm not afraid to admit it. It is what it is.
did you have a friend in common?
Pardon me?
Did you have a friend in common?
Did we have a friend in common? No, I don't know. We didn't. No, we just bonded over food. I think that we bonded over Bulldog, her Chelsea, because she had a picture of her little bulldog on there, and I was like, I like dogs, and that's where it went. Adorable. All right, which dating app launched in 2017? Getting more modern here. Matches on shared dislikes rather than likes.
Oh my God, Hater. That's so funny.
It's definitely Hater. I mean, like out of the other ones, it's not that one. Hater. This is the one that I was like, is this real? Is this a thing? And that's the logo. It is a real thing. It didn't last very long because it was like, all right, let's put all the cynics together, and it just didn't work out. So, but that was the thing. Hater. Crazy, absolutely crazy. But that's all the questions I got. What did you learn? What did anybody learn? Or something that surprised you?
I mean, I learned that about Operation Match in 1965.
That one's pretty good. That was definitely like.
But that's like the dawn of like, so No Idea is new because when Zuck was at Harvard or MIT, where was he? And he like launched like the Van Winkle brothers, like they all like launched their own Operation Match essentially. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, they did. I mean, he took essentially he didn't. I want to say he took it because I don't feel like if you take somebody's idea but you are the one that has the ability to make it great and to actually utilize it and make it work and that kind of stuff. I feel like you just, I don't know. I don't feel like that's really stealing at that point. I think you're just better at it than them. But yeah, no, like nothing inherently is super original, but you can take a lot of pieces that haven't been put together in a certain way to make something that's together is original.
mm-hmm.
You can stack a bunch of concepts and attributes together, and then the stack itself then becomes original. But yeah, a lot of it's like based on like a very few like a very original ideas. I think like even AI. I talked to people who've been working with like that guy had Kirill, founder of the Fitting Room. I had him on Founders Focus this week. Great guy. I love him. But he had a company where I think it was in like 2017. So it's kind of before this big like AI, tsunami that's kind of going over us right now. And he developed a software that you would say, like on the outside, if you just read the description, you're like, oh, that's AI. Like it's like, no, but it used like similar learning models. Like it's been around for a while. It wasn't distributed the way it is right now. But a lot of the concepts and like the basics of it have been used before, because it was like it was an esports platform where you would record your screen, feed it into the software, and it would pump out a bunch of highlights. So it's kind of like Opus Clip. It was like AI Opus Clip. Like it was like that, but for esports and cooler. And that was 7 years ago, which was again before. Because when did the AI, like when did OpenAI come out?
2 years ago.
So 22, 21 or 22. Yeah. So it's, did you see that they got the biggest funding round ever? 6.6 billion. Microsoft, Nvidia, and then I can't remember the capital group that went in on it. But it like jacked their valuation up to like 160 million or something like that. They're like a 45x. Wild. Yeah, and apparently Paco doesn't like the CEO. That was his comment on that.
Sampling. No, that was it. Was it?
I remember his name. He was on I remember seeing him on an interview a while ago, and him saying that like he doesn't care about money. And then not that long afterwards, he bought this $2 million car. You don't buy a $2 million car unless you care about money, or at least care about people knowing that you have money.
I actually think that at that, so I think he was saying like he doesn't care about money because he doesn't want to like he wants to keep access to OpenAI and he doesn't want to like sell it. You know what I mean? Like because
he doesn't want to
about democratizing like access to technology or whatever. But at some point, I think these people, like these innovators, buy the $2 million car because they're so fascinated with like the next onset of technology and it's just so expensive because it's all new. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, you have to have money to buy a $2 million car, and you have to want to like spend it on toys. But I don't know. Someone's got to buy that $2 million car so that we can
might as well be him.
Make it a $35,000, like version in 6 years.
If you can, I think you should.
Yeah,
I think you should. But it was a crazy looking car. I don't know what kind of car it was. It's not. I'm more of like a Jeep guy. I don't want to like worry about potholes. Yeah. There's enough cities with bad roads. I don't. Right. But anyways, this is a blast. Thanks for jumping on.
What I did take away? Please don't ask me any more like intellectual leadership questions. I got like all of them wrong. But if you ask me about pop culture type of stuff, like I'm all in.
Yeah, that's what it's for. That's what the Saturday Coffee Club is for. I've realized, right? It's not for intellectual, philosophical stuff. Yeah. Let's talk about dating apps. Let's talk about Lunchables. That was a fun one.
I saw that one. It's like.
Yeah, let's talk about Lunchables versus Lunchly. Finally, they have some competition. They've had the same like Mario logo cover for their things since I was a kid. Wild. But anyways, thank you everybody for being here. I really, really appreciate it. These Summit Coffee Clubs are always an absolute blast. Next week, we're going to have a little bit of an announcement on the show that we're excited for. And it has something to do with, I think it was the last one. Whenever Mike from Shop Floor Coffee was on, we'll have a little bit of an announcement for the next one. So we're very excited about that. But enjoy your weekend. Have a great week. All right. If you need anything, you can reach out to me, as Will pointed out, on Monect. If you go to Monect.com, download the app, you can find me on there. If you want to ask any questions, one-off questions, comes to your business strategy. Where do I point the boat, and how do I figure out how I figure out where to point the boat, and anything to do with hiring, increasing your team's talent density, and setting your business up so that it can scale without you. So you can stay in, as kids are calling it these days, you can stay in founder mode and let us worry about the manager mode. So everybody, until next time, keep chasing your next summit.